Welcome in, you guys. Today we got One Piece chapter 1116 comments. We're gonna be going down the comment section of the full spoiler video and just talking a little bit about them. So the first comment we have here says, the fleet admirals, knowing this, makes Dragon leaving so much more impactful. I agree. Funny enough, we don't actually know what rank Dragon was when he left, so for all we know, he could have been a fleet admiral candidate. Let me see, would that have worked? No, that wouldn't have worked because Sengoku was the fleet admiral and then it next went to Akainu in their generation. So it wouldn't have made sense for Dragon to be a fleet admiral at the time. But hey, he very well could have been an admiral or somebody who was privy to information since he was related to Garp, right? I like to imagine Garp is really bad at keeping secrets. So yeah, maybe Garp did tell Dragon about the Marines and how they have to suck up to the Celestial Dragons, and Dragon just wasn't having any of that whatsoever. I mean, hell, Garp doesn't even have any of that, right? Whenever the Reverie happened, he didn't want to go above the red line, right? Like, Shirahoshi was like, hey, Garp, where are you going? And then Garp was like, well, you know, I don't want to go up there, right? Like, he was even bad-mouthing the Celestial Dragons to King, what's his name? Not King Stussy, King Stelly. So yeah, Garp hates him, and I like to imagine that rubbed off on Dragon a little bit when he was in the Marines. So the next comment says, my first thoughts about Imu looking at the picture that looks like Vivi is that it would be crazy as if it's the same picture that Sanji found under the water during the Gia Arc. Also, the return of the goat Elizabello is peak. Yeah, okay, Elizabello, man. I actually do like Elizabello a lot. I like him because he's a king that can actually fight, right? Like Cobra. You know, Cobra, not that great. King Riku could actually fight a little bit as Ricky the Gladiator, and I believe back in his prime he could actually fight a decent amount too. So King Riku's solid. Cobra, not that great, but Elizabello is amazing. Dude, people started a rumor that Elizabello could one-shot a Yonko. Like, who the hell started that, right? You know, like, they started it for a reason. Maybe he did that. You know, if I was king, I think I would start that rumor too. Yeah, if I was a king of a nation, I would tell everyone the most outrageous lies. Like, oh, whenever Sai takes a shower, all the water that bounces off his body turns into gold. You know, like something ridiculous. Elizabello has that. This guy can apparently take down Kaido, Big Mom, Whitebeard, Shanks, all in a single blow. Think about that. I mean, of course it's not true, right? Like, I don't think it's true, but just simply having citizens gas you up that hard is insane. So now going back to the, you know, the main part of this comment, yes, it does look reminiscent of the woman we saw back during the Gia Arc, but the timing wouldn't make sense because obviously Lily is from 900 years ago, or 900, 800, during that Void Century gap, whereas the lady from the Saint Bliss, she she died like 200 years ago. So the time wouldn't make sense, but there could be an explanation for that. It could be that, you know, something preserved the ship. Because if I recall correctly, which I could 100% be wrong, it's been a long time since they hit Jaya, but I believe they think the ship looks 200 years old. I don't think they know for sure. So maybe the ship was preserved a little bit. But either way, though, I think somebody did a side-by-side on the pictures, and actually the lady from the St. Bliss has a different hairstyle than Queen Lily. So I do think it's different people. So going down a little bit, though, what is the next comment? He who knows the truth simply laughs is so epic, and I agree. Yeah, that is a crazy line to drop on Rayleigh, the Pirate King crew. Like, it's so good. I love the difference, though, right? Because Rayleigh is laughing. You know, Rayleigh's over here drunk out of his mind, laughing at a bar. And then Crocus is just at Twin Caves, just folding his arms, looking up, right? It just shows how different it is. But for Rayleigh, though, I feel like it might be telling that the Roger crew didn't want things to end that way. This is just headcanon at this point, but I don't think the Roger crew wanted their journey to end the way it did. Because you have to remember, like, they showed up to Laugh Tale. They showed up at their answer way too early. That's what Roger said. And then we have instances like Shirahoshi, the Egg, Wano not having the borders open yet. Like, Roger was just not in the right time. And I bet the crew also felt that way, and they weren't exactly happy that they had to just laugh and, you know, leave it to the next generation. I bet they wanted to be those guys, but they weren't. So that's probably why Rayleigh is, you know, drunk. You know, he's probably like, damn, I wish we had New Game Plus. So next comment, though, says, Roger couldn't do what Joy Boy planned because he needed the Nika Fruit. And I do agree with that. My personal theory is that the ancient weapons, when used with the correct method or power source, can be tools of creation and destruction. It would go back to the Franky flashback and Tom's thoughts on people's creations. Joy Boy planned to transform the planet to make it more habitable, and the 20 Kingdoms and Imu portrayed him as the tyrant who wanted to destroy the world. And that is where I'll push back on. I mean, it's all opinions at this point, but I think Joy Boy, yes, I bet he did have good intentions, but I think that he also might have been not the best guy when it comes to, like, you know, planning out. I mean, like I said, we have no idea, but I feel like by the time we get the Void Century flashback, Joy Boy would have caused some mayhem. Like, 20 kingdoms is insane to me. Like, maybe it's just me, but getting 20 kingdoms together and saying, hey, F this guy in particular, like, that takes effort. Like, you must have been an actual menace. Like, if it was just 1 or 2 kingdoms that did it, I'd be like, okay, you know, like, yeah, maybe they got tricked, maybe they just don't like him, but 20 kingdoms is crazy, especially when one of the kingdoms was Lily, right? Like, Lily partook in the war against Joy Boy. Only afterwards did Lily say, hey, I think Joy Boy was right, let me spread the poneglyphs, right? Like, so there must have been some misunderstanding. I think Joy Boy had great intentions, but maybe he was misunderstood. And I think the same could be said for the world government as well. I don't think there are going to be, like, good and bad character, like, obvious good and bad characters back in the day. I think it's all going to be really gray. But as far as Roger needing the Nika Fruit, I agree. I mean, the Nika Fruit is what's powering the ancient robot, right? Like, Roger might have seen the ancient robot, but I know damn well that Roger did not turn it on. You know, Luffy could turn it on. Like, that's just the difference with Roger. And like, honestly, I do feel kind of bad for him, man. Like, he just didn't get to experience the whole adventure, and that's so unfortunate. And like I said, it's gate kept because of time, gate kept because of fruit. Hate to see it, man. Hate to see it. Next comment, though, says, my snail hiding spot theory was right. Let's go. Yeah, a lot of people actually guessed it. Well, as Mars and Saturn and Venus, as these guys are going around the island, like, knocking locations out, more and more people started going towards the ancient giant. And lo and behold, man, you guys were correct, and I was completely wrong. I mean, I talked about the ancient giant, but it was, like I said, it was never a theory I was, like, wholeheartedly on. So while I talked about it, I wasn't there, brother. I can't share the glory, but that's totally fine, man. I'm happy so many people got it, and it's cool too. You know, like, looking back at the snail hiding spot in hindsight, like, it's cool seeing that, you know, Vegapunk's location when we first met him actually mattered. You know, him phasing into the robot actually mattered, and it's awesome. It's awesome. And also, it ties back to the whole thing where, like, hey, you know, we don't know how to get rid of this ancient robot. The world government couldn't do anything about it, so they sent it to this island. You know, that's A1. That's A1. So going down, imagine the hype if Nathan, wait, who's Nathan? Oh, Ethan Baron V. Nasujuro? Yeah. Tries to slice the ancient robot like what he did in the latest chapter, only for it to not even scratch the giant. That would be kind of crazy. But also, it's kind of crazy because they call him the Iron Giant, and we've been cutting iron for hundreds and hundreds of chapters now. You know, Zoro could cut iron back in the day, brother, like, pre-time skip. So if I keep on messing up. If Venus can't cut the Iron Giant, can't cut iron, I'm gonna be like, yo, the ancient robot's not made out of iron, guys. Like, we gotta give him a new name. Like, this is not iron if Ethan can't cut it. But yeah, I feel like that's going to happen. I don't see this robot being easily defeated. Like, I can't imagine it personally. So I think it will take, like, a lot of time, effort to get rid of this guy. And even then, like, maybe the way the Gorosei beat him is by the ancient robot running out of fuel, right? Because that's what happened 200 years ago. The ancient robot attacked Marie Joie, ran out of fuel, and then they wanted to get rid of it. I think the same could be said here. You know, Luffy's been in Gear 5th for a long time now. The minute it goes out, there's a good chance that the robot goes out with him. All right, so the next comment says, we met Stella half stuck in the robot. Like, if he decided to place something inside ASAP as he learned Luffy was there. And yeah, I could totally see that. And also, like, funny enough, you know, people are saying that Vegapunk knew that Luffy would turn on the robot. I don't think so. Like, Vegapunk said to Luffy when he first showed up, hey, this must be fate. You know, like, I can't believe you came here. So I think this is just, like, perfect coincidences coming up. And another thing about that, too, is that I don't think Vegapunk knew that Luffy was the White Warrior. Because remember when Luffy first started fighting Lucci, Vegapunk ran up to the monitors. He was like, wait, the White Warrior. You know, like he was surprised. So I don't even think he knew that Luffy would be able to turn on the robot. So yeah, there's a lot of things that really worked out well for Vegapunk here. So the next comment says, I don't know if you've spoken this before, but if the giants have 200 or 300 years to live, ain't it possible that Jorel and the other giants' grandparents lived through the Void Century and passed the knowledge straight from the Void Century to the current day characters? See, this is a very logical conclusion. And I think this makes a lot, like 100%, it makes a lot of sense, right? I would argue that this should be the case for everyone. Like, not even just giants, but humans too, right? Like, that's why the Void Century to me is so weird. Because, you know, 1,000 years or 900, 800 years, that's a long time. But we today, like, we have history from back then. Like, you just write it down, you pass it on to the next person. It's that easy. So it makes me think that there might have been some event, like maybe sugar, for example, like the hobby fruit, maybe a pudding memory wipe. Like something must have happened back then that caused a lot of people not to have that knowledge anymore. But then again, you know, Buccaneers, they know about Sun God Nika. Lunarians know about Joy Boy. So it's so strange. But yeah, if there was a race, though, to know about the Void Century and have, like, not first-hand accounts, but, you know, people that have the most vivid recollection of what happened back then, it would be the Giants, in my opinion. I think it's totally the Giants. And it could even explain why Giants were so hated for a minute, right? Like, it took Mother Carmel to bring Giants into the Navy, right? Like, the Giants are just not a group you want to mess with. And I guess the same could be said for even the Fishmen, right? Like, if the world government can't oppress a race that has knowledge, they will. And I think the Giants, they just couldn't do it, so the Giants are just kind of exiled from the world. That's why we have no, you know, giant in the world government. That's why we barely have giants in the Marines. Like, yeah, I think they will know a lot of information. And not to mention, they also celebrate the sun god already. So that is another inkling that the Giants know a lot more than the common folk. Oh, but yeah, like this. Like, it's super logical. It has 4 replies. Let me see. I don't want to go through every reply from these comments because I feel like that would take a long time. But let's see what they're cooking here. Maybe there's something that disproves what I'm saying. At the end of chapter 1116, the narrator says, "Those who know simply laugh. Giants are always laughing and smiling." Yeah, but giants are dumb, though. Like, I'm a giant racist. You know, you guys know me. I don't like the Giants. They're just a bunch of buffoons, you know. The less you know, the more you laugh. So I think that's what the Giants are all about. But that could just be giant slander right there. I think it was the editor who says this, but the narrator, I 100% agree, this point still stands. Yep, and that is another factual one. Jarul? Could somebody please find Jarul? Get a hold of this motherfucker so I can make sense of all of this. Where is Ja? Who cares? What is it? What is this? What is this? we come out, we read a reply, this is what we get? I love that. That's so funny. Oh, but yeah, going on to the next comment, though. The one reply section we read, and we get a whole meme over here. Franky is going to turn the Sunny into a modern weapon of mass destruction. Yep. I mean, Franky knows the blueprints of Pluton. Like, if Franky wanted to, he could, no joke, just recreate Pluton. All he needs is material. And we don't even know what material is needed for Pluton, right? Like, it could be atom wood, it could be regular wood, it could be iron. We don't know. So yeah, Franky could 100% do this. And yeah, I think the ancient weapons are going to be a lot of fun. Right now, I'm kind of just curious to see what Pluton is going to be all about. Like, is it really just a ship? Like, when you think about a ship that could destroy the world and destroy islands, like, what are we talking about? Like a giant cannonball like what Garp had? Or a giant cannonball like in 3D2Y? Because Grundy World had a ship that had that. Like what is Oda going to be cooking with Pluton? Like, it's got to shoot, like, laser beams or something insane, right? It can't just be a cannonball, dude. We've seen Buster Calls. They're lame. You know, Buster Calls... Dude, we are, like, 15 chapters into this Buster Call, and Egghead Island is still standing, brother, you know? Like, Buster Calls aren't that great. So it's in my opinion, it's got to shoot something better than cannonballs, and I think Franky could have even been a great... foreshadowing of what Pluton could be all about, right? With the Gao cannon, with it being fueled by cola. I think there's gonna be some good stuff here. So the next one is a longer one. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see what we got. I can imagine Buggy pulling up to Wano and the interaction being... Okay, step 1. They arrive and get greeted by Momonosuke and gang ready to fight. Step 2. They ask questions and somehow Shanks gets brought up in the conversation. Yeah, I could see that. I was sorry. I'm thinking to see if like Momonosuke knows that they're related. Oh wait, actually, I don't think they have to ask questions. Actually, Momonosuke should know about Buggy. Momonosuke should know about Buggy because Oden's journal logs his adventure with the Roger Pirates, and by that time, Roger did have Buggy and Shanks. Well, obviously because they were with them all the way until the very end. But yeah, Oden should know about. Oh wait, no, he did. He wrote about Shanks and Buggy because Oden said that there was a goofy-looking kid, and that kid was Buggy. Yeah. I mean, Momonosuke, dude, he's gonna welcome Buggy with open arms. It's like a brother. Yeah. Easy. Step 3. Someone on the Cross Guild mentions that Buggy and Shanks are sworn brothers. Buggy gets mad saying they're not, but is ignored. Next, Momo Yamato mentions sworn brothers like Ace and Luffy. Buggy is dumbfounded. They say that Shanks is basically a father figure to Luffy, so Buggy is like an uncle, and that he is welcomed to the island with the highest of honors. Buggity Clown has gained the road poneglyph without even saying a word that people actually care to listen to. I think that's funny, though. I like the ending of this story. Just Buggy just being completely ignored. He just gets everything. It's hard, though. Buggy getting a road poneglyph, I think, I've already talked about it, but I think his journey is going to be really easy, right? Whole Cake, missing Big Mom. Zunisha, Buggy has clout with Roger. Like I said, the Roger connection goes so hard because Buggy was with Roger when he got the road poneglyphs, right? Like, Buggy can walk into 99% of these places and just say, hey, you remember me? Like, that is what Buggy has been doing, actually. Like, Buggy has been going up to people and just said, hey, long time no see. Like, remember when Luffy and Buggy first met again in Impel Down? And Luffy was like, hey, yeah, I talked to Rayleigh. And then Buggy's like, Rayleigh? Like, brother, Buggy's got the connections. So yeah, like, I think Wano's going to be a cakewalk. The hard part, though, is Pluton. Because with Buggy comes Mihawk, comes Crocodile, comes all the bozos besides him. And if Crocodile learns that Pluton is here, this relationship could get a little bit messy. But I guess we could see a Wano... Wait, imagine a Wano Cross Guild team up, right? Imagine Momonosuke's like, hey, we gotta release Pluton. Let's do it soon. And then Crocodile shows up and he's like, hey, we gotta do it now. They ally to an extent because obviously the Buggy connection, they want to be on good terms. And then Mihawk could lead the samurai. Dude, imagine the samurai led by mother frickin' Mihawk. That would be sick. Wouldn't make any sense, really. I mean, other than them being swordsmen, wouldn't make that much sense why Mihawk would do it, but that would be pretty solid. Yeah, Wano and Cross Guild. What an interesting interaction. Might have to, make a side video on that one, to be honest. That's a whole talking point. Vegapunk was hiding the robot from the government behind a fake wall, so it makes sense. Yep. I forgot all about this, to be honest, until I saw the anime. I mean, I do anime reactions, and I watch the anime, and... A lot of people say I'm like pretending that I don't know things because I read the manga, but it's like, dude, like these chapters, man, they came out like 2 years ago. Like the fake wall is something I completely forgot about. Luffy just put his hand on a wall, fell in, and then boom, ancient robot. So I was like, damn, that was a thing? It's been so long, man. I got bad memory, dude. Alzheimer's, it runs in the family. I have 2 points, hear me out. 1, I believe Shanks knows more about the Void Century than he lets on due to the fact that the Gorosei are too cordial with him. Shanks know about the Void Century. I think that's true. Yeah, I mean, Shanks, he traveled with Roger. I'm sure that he knows a lot. So I agree with that one. 2, I believe Zunisha's punishment that made him curse to walk forever is that he let one of the ancient weapons, Uranus, slip into enemy hands or be fooled by somebody who he thought was an ally, therefore helping them defeat Joy Boy. Just my opinion. Let me know what you think of it. I agree. I think everything you said is very plausible. Uranus is an interesting one. I'm not too sure if I'm there, but I like it. Because from what we learned in this chapter, Joy Boy wanted to pass down these weapons. Pluton was given to the people of Wano, because it's hidden within Wano's walls. And also, it was also given to a lot of altos here. Sorry about that. It was given to the shipwrights of Water 7. So Joy Boy did pass that down. Poseidon, kind of an easy one, right? You have the apology letter in Fishman Island, you have Noah's Ark, and then you have the mermaid lineage. So yeah, he passed that down as well. But for Uranus, it's like, wait, how did he pass that down? Because somewhere along the line, something went wrong because the world government now has it, right? So somebody must have betrayed Joy Boy. You know, somebody must have given Uranus to the world government, somebody that Joy Boy trusted in the past. Was it Zunisha? Not too sure. Was it the egg that Roger had? Not too sure. Like, we have no idea. But there is a betrayer somewhere. There is some dirty stuff happening in the background. But yeah, I do agree with you, though. I think Zunisha did commit a grave sin. You know, like, you don't walk forever out of your own volition because you feel good, right? Like, Zunisha did something bad. I'm excited to see it. Mainly because I hate elephants, dude. I hate elephants so much. So, seeing Zunisha's crime, seeing him walk, I love it. You know what? I think I'm a hater. I hate giants. I hate elephants. I hate the minks. I hate long arms, long legs. You know, like I hate a lot of races in One Piece. So the next one says, I feel for all those innocent Den Mushi. They're always in dangerous predicaments. Yep. And I feel like eventually things are going to change. I think there is going to be some weird snail devil fruit user that will rally the snails under their wing. Kind of like how, Big News Morgans rallies the seagulls around the world to do his dirty work. I feel like there's going to be a snail character that does the exact same. And by further extension, I feel like there's also going to be the same thing for bats as well. Because the world government has carrier bats, which is kind of interesting. So only going to read a couple more, kind of getting late in the night. This one says, I'm theorizing two ways that the world government got Uranus. 1, your second option, Joy Boy had allies with a few of the kings, Imu being one of them, and Joy Boy entrusted Imu with Uranus, but Imu betrayed Joy Boy by using Uranus against him. I like that. Like, I think there is going to be some betrayal back then, so I like that a lot. 2, the world government had Cyberpole and Uranus, or wait, the world government had Cyberpole steal Uranus. Uranus is the crown jewel from Hachinosu, and during God Valley incident, when Zebek was killed, the world government harnessed Zebek's corpse, as Zebek might have been Lunarian, to use as a power source for Uranus to nuke God Valley. The episode 0 Shiki implied that Roger knew the location of what is most likely Uranus, foreshadowing God Valley. But since Shiki's character was introduced too early, it's awkward in hindsight as he knew too. Yeah, Shiki's always a weird one. I mean, Shiki's so strange. Like, the movie isn't canon, of course. His powers aren't even exactly canon. But Shiki, you know, chapter 0 is canon. You know, like, the guy lives in a weird realm right now. So I am curious to see if, like, Shiki's storyline is ever going to come back into play. But yeah, like, I like these a lot. As far as the crown jewel of Hachinosu goes, I'm trying to think, like, how... Okay, that could work. The crown jewel of Hachinosu. Maybe it's the egg. No, I don't know the egg timeline that well, to be honest. Like, I haven't been paying a lot of attention to when the egg is and isn't on Roger's ship. But yeah, Uranus is so strange, though. Like, we don't know what it looks like. Kind of where I'm at right now is that it's either the egg that was on Roger's ship, or it's something like the Arc Maxim, like Anel had on Skypiea. But yeah, I mean, I like this, though. Like, I think this is a pretty solid Uranus theory. So next one, though. Let me see. What if the Den Mushi was hidden inside York? What a twist that would have been. Yeah, that would have been pretty crazy. Just have York ingest the Den Mushi, and then we'd have to kill York to get it out. Or the Gorosei would have to kill York to get it out. Be kind of poetic, right? She wants to be a celestial dragon, and then she's killed by the celestial dragons. Crocus was in a whale when we first met him. Damn. Yeah, I mean, Crocus is kind of chilling in there. He's got, like, Master Roshi. He has his own little island in there, you know? So, last two. Still, what is this funny story that Roger and his crew burst out with so much laughter? What a funny story. I wish I lived in the same era as you, Joy Boy. It makes you think about the Book of Ecclesiastes, or I hope I pronounced that right, where King Solomon, through wisdom, saw life as just a big joke. Vanity and vexation of the spirit. That'd be kind of cool. I do like that. Thank you, Den Mushi. Thanks to you, we will see the ancient robot in action. Also, the Gorosei are gonna say, the pile of junk. We will simply crush it. Then realize it's moving. Dude, like I said, the Gorosei have not said a single word about this ancient robot. They still haven't. Like, York said it's in the robot. The Gorosei were like just looking around, like, you know, dot, dot, dots. I was like, okay, okay. Yeah, I want to see what the Gorosei have to say about this guy. And honestly, I'm rooting for the Gorosei. I don't like giant robots either. You know, I'm not a robot guy. So I am rooting for Team Gorosei on this front. Like, no joke, unless we're talking about Evangelion, like, I'm not a big fan of robots, dude. Like, it's just not a thing. And I'm gonna say it right here, but the ancient robot, it looked kind of lame, dude. I don't know. So I am rooting for the Gorosei to win this fight. And of course, I feel like they will win the fight too. Like, they can't just let this message go at 100%, right? Like, it's already gone on long enough. The Gorosei have to come in and stop it before it gets too crazy. All right, so last one. I think the Croco theory is actually Crocodile being the same age as Momonosuke. Hence, Croco boy. That's not that bad. So the problem, not a problem. The reason I don't think that's the case is because how would Ivankov know, right? Like, so Ivankov has a secret that they hang over Crocodile's head. If Ivankov could change ages, then I would agree with this more. But I mean, I do like different theories though, so I don't mind this one. The reason why I do think the Crocodile being a woman one is higher in my books is because that is something Ivankov can do. And calling him Croco boy or Sir Crocodile even, it's kind of like a meme on Crocodile, right? Like, hey, what's up, Croco guy? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, hey, what's up, boy? But they're not really a boy. But yeah, I feel like that's the only two things it could be, right? It could be age, it could be gender. Because, like, what else could Ivankov do to Crocodile that Crocodile wouldn't want other people to know about? Like, there's nothing else, right? Like, Ivankov could hit you with the the steroids that they hit Luffy with, but outside of that, like, I don't know, maybe Ivankov did Crocodile's makeup one day and Crocodile hated it. I have no clue. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about all of this. Crocodile, ancient weapons, Shiki, Den Mushi. Like, let me know all your thoughts down below, and I'll catch you guys next week. And also, I will try to put these videos out the day after full spoilers drop. I kind of took a while this week, but it's kind of a crazy week. But yeah, hopefully you guys understand, and I will catch you guys later. Signing out.